Hello, Internet! I'm Simmerdown Steph, and I am very proud to finally introduce to you guys a new legacy challenge that I wrote myself. I am a huge fan of Disney, I'm a huge fan of The Sims, and every time I went to find a Disney Princess legacy challenge in The Sims 4, I would start playing it and then I just wanted more. I wanted more story. I wanted the generations to intertwine with one another a little bit more, to play off of one of each other a little bit more. So I decided, well, if you can't find what you're looking for, maybe it's time for you to create it on your own. And I spent a lot of time coming up with 15 different Disney princess generations. I know they're not all Disney princesses, technically, officially, whatever you want to call it, but I love the characters and I had a lot of fun making this, so I hope you have a lot of fun watching it. And if you decide to play it too, I hope you have a lot of fun playing it. That being said, this video itself, if you're looking for gameplay, you can skip right to the next video. This video itself is just going to be me talking about the setup and the rules for generation number 1, which is, in case you couldn't tell from my outfit and my red lip, Snow White. So let's get into that. Okay, here we have the Disney Princess Legacy Challenge rules all typed up. They are very much in first draft mode. They're still being edited. I have not played through all 15 of these generations, and before I officially publish it and get it out there in the world, I'd like to play through them all just to make sure there aren't any kinks that need to be ironed out before I go ahead and post this on the big wide web. So for now, I'm just reading them out so that you guys have a little bit of context when we start playing the Snow White generation. If you don't want context and you just want to watch gameplay, well, you can skip to the next video. If you do want a little bit of context or you want to know what we're in for and what the challenge entails, or you're going to play along and you need to know what the rules are, then this video is for you because it's all about the rules, all about the story that we're about to tell with our Disney Princess Legacy Challenge. So, the challenge consists of 15 generations, each one based on a different Disney princess. Some are not officially princesses, I just love the characters. I've tried my best to make the generations flow and tell a cohesive story. I have definitely not limited the rules of each of the generations with expansion packs in mind. So, if you come across a generation that you can't complete because you don't have one of the packs required, feel free to skip it altogether or modify the rules so that it works for you. Get creative and have fun. That's the number one rule. The bare minimum requirement for each generation is going to be to birth or adopt at least one heir, maximize 3 skills, complete one aspiration that I have doled out. You can complete more if you want, but at least their identified aspiration must be completed. Only the first gen is written as strictly female. I tried to use they them pronouns for the rest of the generations to allow people to have male heirs. So if there's a she her pronoun in there somewhere, I apologize profusely. It is not my intention. It's just my brain is so focused on Disney Princess. I guess I should call it the Disney Princess slash Prince or the Disney Royalty Challenge. I don't know. I might think about changing that, but I really love the princesses, so I went with Disney Princess Legacy Challenge. They're all based on Disney princesses, eh, kind of, in my mind. Not all of them are official princesses, like I've said multiple times, but yeah, whatever. Feel free to use whatever gender sim you want, is the bottom line. You can change their names if you want. Just enjoy and have fun, like I've said. So let's get into generation number 1. Snow White. The sim you're going to be creating is cheerful, good, and childish with the soulmate aspiration. The skills we have to max are parenting, baking, and singing. This is later referred to as the tortured nightmare generation. So Snow White has a pretty rough life, and this generation is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's kind of like a 100 baby challenge on steroids, so buckle up, everybody. Setup. Turn aging off. There will be a point in the gameplay where you turn it back on, but it's highly recommended you start this generation with aging off. Unless you're going to play on long lifespan, I think that could probably work too, but Playing on long lifespan is too long for me, so I don't know how you guys would do that. Create your family consisting of one adult female sim and two toddlers, at least two toddlers. Your Snow White sim's name and appearance can be whatever you want. I personally find it fun to name and design each sim after the princess they represent. Again, cheerful, childish, good for her traits and the soulmate aspiration. The toddlers must also both be female, one of them named Grumpy with the fussy trait, and the other named Sleepy with the clingy trait. Move Snow White, Grumpy, and Sleepy into a cottage with room at a table for 8 Sims. 8 beds, they should be one adult bed and 7 toddler beds, one bathroom, and a laundry wash tub and clothesline. If you have laundry day, if you have the romantic garden stuff pack, you must also place a whispering wishing well on the lot. You can use the free real estate on sheet to purchase your first home if you wish, but don't forget that you still have to pay all of those bills. So you might want to go a little bit on the smaller side to begin with, because money is going to be an issue in this generation. You can also use whichever lot traits you would like to help out. I recommend Child's Play, Good Schools, and Homey for extra hard mode. If this already isn't hard enough for you, and we haven't even gotten into the hardest part yet, if this already isn't hard enough for you, for extra hard mode, you can play with Simple Living and Off the Grid lot challenges on. Set the household funds to 5,000 simoleons. That's all you get to start after you buy your house. And then the rules. Snow White must do all of the household chores, every single itty bitty thing. The dwarves cannot help at all, dwarves, aka toddlers, even when they grow up. From toddlers to children to teens, can't lift a finger. Snow's doing it all. If they do something autonomously, that's okay, but try to cancel it before they complete any cooking, cleaning, or laundry. That is what I mean by chores. Money can only be made by selling baked goods on one of the selling tables. Only Snow White can tend the selling table for yard sales. Sorry, the dwarves can't help with this either. Money will be a struggle later, so you might want to build a bit of a nest egg here. Snow White must max the baking, parenting, and singing skills. If you have the wishing well, also sorry, she must also wish for romance at least once every day. If the well eventually grants your wish for romance, you won't be able to wish for romance anymore. So then you can change it to happiness, or if you just want to be done with the wishing well, by all means, I guess you're done with the wishing well because her wish was granted. Snow White must end up with 7 toddlers in total. Yeah, you heard that right. 7. Full household, one adult, 7 toddlers at some point. They can be adopted, added to the family via Managed Worlds, or they can be born. And you don't have to deal with infants, you can age them right up into toddlers. But Snow White cannot get married or have a partner move in until all the dwarves have been raised from at least a toddler to a teen by meeting the requirements that follow, which are very similar to the already popular 100 Baby Challenge. 2 age toddlers into children get all of their skills to level 3: communication, imagination, movement, potty, and thinking, or get potty to level 3 and then 2 other skills to level 5. 2 age children into teenagers, they must get an A grade in school and get any skill to level 5. Now, here is a list of all of the dwarves in case you don't know them, and what trait they have to have as a toddler, and the traits that they will end up with when they age up into children and then teens. So, Grumpy must be female, first of all, is fussy and then mean and hot headed. Sleepy starts out also as female, is clingy as a toddler, then a lazy slob. Bashful can be any gender, starts out as a charmer as a toddler, and then a romantic art lover. Sneezy, also any gender, then wild as a toddler, and a squeamish slob. Dopey, any gender, silly, obviously, as a toddler, and then a clumsy goofball. Doc, any gender, inquisitive as a toddler, and then an ambitious genius. Happy, also any gender, angelic as a toddler, and then cheerful and good. Once all the dwarves have been aged up into teens, Happy, Doc, Dopey, Sneezy, and Bashful see how hard it's been on Snow raising all of them under that one tiny roof, and they decide to move out together. You can use free real estate on to place them in a house or apartment wherever you wish. Grumpy and Sleepy stay in the household for now. However, now that there's room in the household, Snow White can pursue her heart's desire of finding and being with her one true love. Snow White must fall in love with and marry an elder Sim. When Snow White's true love moves into the cottage, he kicks out the unappreciative freeloaders, Grumpy and Sleepy, and they can move in with their other siblings if you want them to. Once Snow White's soulmate aspiration is completed, turn aging back on whichever lifespan you prefer. I recommend normal lifespan because long is a little too long for me and short is, well, it's crazy short. The elder would die in 2 seconds. Snow White and her one true love must have at least one child, which will be the heir for the Cinderella generation. You can have more than that if you want more heirs to choose from, but it's completely up to you. When Snow White's true love dies, and they will die because they are an elder, purchase a retrading potion from the reward store, or use cast.full edit mode, which is a cheat in The Sims. In case you didn't know, you can Google it, and change Snow White's traits to mean, evil, and self absorbed. Now, those are all of the rules for the generation, but I have made a little bit of a story for each generation as well. So, the story for the Snow White generation is as follows. Snow White was raised as a lonely orphan. Now that she is an adult, she is determined to save as many children as possible from the lonely upbringing she had. So, she fills her lonely heart and empty home with as many children as she can find, practically bending herself over backwards to care for them so they do not have to feel the sting of a tough childhood. Snow is running herself ragged. The deepest desire of her heart has always been true love. She wishes for her Prince Charming to find her and save her from the thankless life she has created for herself. One day, her wish comes true. She has a beautiful wedding, and the love of her life kicks her unappreciative children out of the house. Soon, they're blessed with a beautiful bouncing baby of their own, and it seems Snow's long awaited happily ever after has finally found her. Everything is wonderful. Until age takes its toll on Snow White's one true love, and he passes away. Or she. Struck with heartbreak and grief, Snow White's heart changes, darkens, and hardens. Snow can barely stand to look at her own child, the resemblance to her true love sending daggers into her broken black heart. Grumpy and Sleepy return home, and the Cinderella generation begins. Generation 2, Cinderella, we're gonna keep a secret for now. I will probably make a separate video with those rules when we move on to that generation, but for now, we're gonna end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the rules for our Snow White generation, and the gameplay will be in the next video that I put out. So, fingers crossed that that works out for us. I think it's gonna be really fun, and just as a little bit of a sneak peek, I have foolishly decided to start my household with all 7 of the toddlers. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to be hurting for funds. We're going to be hurting for time. We're going to be covered in toddler poop. It's going to be great. So I'll hope to see you guys in that one. Love you so much. Thanks for watching. Bye.